Hello, hello. I am Yoshio. I'm the co-founder of a startup called Ultra Speaking, where we teach communication skills using a series of freestyle rap and improv influenced games. I've lived in Silicon Valley for most of my career, but I recently moved to New York City. And I'm also I've been mulling over this idea of starting a vlog for a long time, and I'm a huge proponent of this idea that if you keep being called to something, you should kind of explore it, have a look. So that's what I'm doing. I was trying to think about what I wanted this vlog to be, and I think where I've settled is this philosophy that I've subscribed to for the past 5 or 6 years. And it really boils down to this line by James Clear, which goes, good habits make time your ally, and bad habits make time your enemy. Since I subscribe to that philosophy, I've done everything from 12 Murph workouts in 24 hours. The Murph is a CrossFit workout where you put on a 20-pound vest, you run 2 miles, do 100 pull-ups, do 200 push-ups, and 300 squats. The only reason I managed to get that done was because of this philosophy of just incremental improvements over a long period of time. I've also self-taught myself web design, become an entrepreneur. Yeah, it's unlocked a lot of things in my life. So I thought that'd be somewhere interesting to start. I'm also going to be using this as a forcing function to make progress on my goals. I have a ton of goals, from learning goals to health and fitness goals to business goals. And I think, having the accountability of a video a week to kind of showcase what I'm learning will make me be more effective or more efficient. We'll see. Uh, I'm also a little bit scared that this might end up becoming a distraction. And if it does, then I will have to change the format. But I'm just going to get something out there and see how it goes. So I think one good place to start would be the goals that I have for the year. And I kind of boiled them down to a few questions. The first is, how do I systematically improve my leverage so that I can spend a lot more time with my wife and my kid? The second is, how can I increase Ultra Speaking, my company's profit, by 2x while only working 40 hours per week, and making sure that the team culture is really good, that we're not burning out, that everyone's feeling spaciousness in their life. How do I achieve Okay, this is going to help. I can't remember all of them off the top of my head. Too many goals. How do I learn higher order skills in 30% of the time it usually takes? So, becoming a junior level software engineer with 150 hours of study versus 500 hours. How do I foster deeper relationships with a few friends and tribes? So, 2 remote and 1 local to the New York area. How do I achieve the Strong First Sinister standard? That's 10 sets of 10 kettlebell swing and 10 Turkish get-ups with a 106-pound kettlebell. Within, I believe it's 15 minutes, I want to be able to cover 4 miles comfortably in a 30-minute run, achieving the good standard on Kelly Starrett's mobility benchmarks, and maintaining a 5-ish year gap in Insight Tracker, which is a blood testing company, in their inner age measurement, which is essentially a measure of how young you are relative to what your biological age is based on your blood results. And actually, on that topic, I just completed an 86-hour, primarily for some of these anti-cancer. I'd read that you could reset your gut microbiome and improve your dopamine receptors and all these things that, hand wavy beneficial to my longevity type things. But going into it, I haven't done a water-only fast, primarily because weight gain has been such a struggle for me for my entire life. So the thought of losing all of these hard-earned gains was terrifying. And also Peter Attia, who's been the biggest proponent of fasting for a long time, maybe not the biggest, but a huge proponent, he kind of came out last year and said that he no longer recommended it, mainly because he didn't think the upsides were worth the downside, the clear downside of the loss of muscle mass. So going into this, that was my number one goal, was how do I combat the loss of muscle? And from everything I'd read, the way to do that was to stay active and do resistance training. So I stuck to my workout programs, but I reduced the load by 30%. So either in terms of weight or number of reps. And it was interesting. My energy levels were mostly good until the final day, final evening, where I was just gassed, tired the entire time, especially doing my workout. It felt like I had just run a marathon as I was doing my workout. But on the whole, my mental acuity, my sharpness felt good the entire time. I was a little bit irritable early on, but that went away. And I mean, I did spend a lot of time looking up food-related things, so researching meal prep services, all that kind of stuff. Looking at pictures of food was super distracting, kind of painful. But, all in all, it didn't feel extremely difficult, and I felt fine afterward. In fact, on the fourth day, I was no longer even that hungry. Then I did a fast breaking protocol from Dr. Mindy Peltz, where it's 3 stages. You start with bone broth, then you move into probiotic type foods and softer vegetable yogurts, that kind of stuff. And then phase 3 is your proteins. So I had a really nice steak. Okay, so here were my results. After 86 hours, I lost 3.7 pounds, of which 1.95 pounds were fat and 1.75 pounds was lean mass. And that was using a bioimpedance scale, so it basically shoots a current through your legs. It's not extremely accurate, but I measure myself at roughly the same time every day, so it's, kind of accurate. So that really means that with the 1.75 pounds of lean mass loss, that's not necessarily all muscle, but I think a lot of it probably is muscle. So yeah, even despite me trying all these things, I still lost muscle mass. And that was really interesting to me, just the amount that I lost. My takeaways on it are, for now, the longevity benefits, those hand-waving longevity benefits I keep talking about, they seem interesting enough that I'll probably try and do this every 6 months or so. But I'm definitely going to, probably in the next year or so, be a bit more rigorous in measuring the actual outcomes of these fasts, probably likely through blood work. And then I'll decide how often I'm going to do it and whether I'll even do it at all. Okay, so that's a little bit of a peek into my life this past week. I hope it was interesting. I'm going to continue putting these videos out. And yeah, see you next week. Bye.